Hi, today I'm going to teach you the transistor biasing chapter. This chapter is in 2nd PUC Electronics, 2nd PUC Physics, BE, first year, BSc, Diploma, all electronics branches. This is a very important chapter as this is the basics for the amplifier circuit. So let us see the transistor biasing topic. The introduction says few headings which is must to understand before we proceed further. First one, unbiased transistor. What is meant by unbiased transistor? This is what is called as unbiased transistor. Means I have not connected any DC signal to this transistor. So I can define it as a transistor without external supply, especially DC. A transistor without external supply is known as unbiased transistor. Next, what is biasing of a transistor or biased transistor? Biased transistor means I have to connect a DC supply to the junctions, emitter base and collector base junctions. So I can define biased transistor as connecting external DC supply to the transistor terminals or applying a suitable DC voltage across the transistor terminal. Both the definitions are correct. So this is what is called as biasing of transistor. So these two are important terminologies. Along with this, should know what are the applications of transistor, because depending on the applications we will bias the transistor. So transistor can be used as switch, NOT gate, current source, amplifiers, oscillators, etc. Hence, its terminals should be biased according to the application. And one more important terminology is zero signal. Zero signal is very important. Why? What is the zero signal means? When we move on to the next chapters like amplifiers, we will be using this word zero signal. As I said, biasing of transistor means connecting a DC supply. Here I have not mentioned anything about AC. So, the condition where transistor is connected with only DC signal, that means AC is absent, without AC signal, is known as zero signal. Zero signal condition is very important for amplifiers. So, zero signal is the condition where only DC signal is connected to the transistor and AC signal is not connected to the transistor. This is very important. So, these are the four terminologies, that is unbiased transistor, biased transistor, application of transistors and zero signal transistor. I request you to subscribe my channel for more videos on both electronics as well as in physics. You can even suggest the topics, whether it is in degree, diploma, BE or even in PU. So if you subscribe and press the bell notification icon, you will get the latest updates. Whenever I upload any video, you will get that notification. So it will help you to understand the topics better. Share the video with your friends because sharing is caring. Also, like and comment on my videos. Your comments will motivate us or motivate me to do more videos. Let us see now what is the need for biasing? You know what is biasing. Now let us concentrate on what is the need for this biasing. The very first thing I would like to say is, as I said, there are different applications. Transistor can be used as NOT gate, switch, amplifiers, oscillators. It can be used, that is, in both analog as well as digital circuits. So a common biasing will not serve the purpose. It depends on the application. How am I using the transistor? Depending on that, I need to bias the transistor. So there are few conditions that I need to check in before I connect a transistor into a particular circuit. First one is to get a faithful amplification. Here I am explaining in terms of Q point. What is Q point? In the coming slides I'll explain. So to get faithful amplification, Q point should be selected exactly at the center of the active region. Remember, to get faithful amplification, Q point is also called as silent point or operating point. This should be selected exactly at the center of the active region. And DC load line. So here I just want to tell what is meant by faithful amplification. Just a rough diagram I will write. For example, if this is the input given to an amplifier circuit, and if I get an amplification like this with a phase difference or without a phase difference, that is called as faithful amplification. This is called as faithful amplification. Why it is called as faithful amplification? Because it retains its shape and it looks like a replica of the input signal. Rather, if the signal is like this, see, you could notice here certain portions in the positive and negative half is clipped off. If this is clipped off, then I cannot say this as a faithful amplification. The reason is, this is not the replica of this. A portion is cut off here. Hence, any amplifier, if we get or obtain an amplitude at the output like this, some information will be lost here. This has to be avoided. That is why we need to select the Q point exactly at the center of the active region. This is a must or I can say very, very important aspect of a biasing. Next, second point, to make Q point independent means, in a circuit, if I have one transistor, by any chance this transistor gets damaged, maybe due to temperature or due to mishandling or due to aging, for various reasons. In case if I replace this transistor by another transistor, then the transistor's beta will vary, VBA will vary, and even the temperature of the circuit or the surrounding might vary. If any one of these varies, definitely the Q point will vary. But if Q point varies, the first point will not be satisfied. That means it might not produce faithful amplification. So to get to this, even this point is very, very important. That is, we need to make Q point independent of these factors. Transistor change, beta, VBE, or even the temperature increase. So this is the second point. Q point should be independent. That means it should not depend on any other variable parameters. Even if I change the transistor, Q point should not change. Then coming to the third point, stability of collector current is very, very important. You know, the collector current IC is the sum of IC majority. Majority means the alpha, beta, gamma plus IC minority. IC minority is nothing but the leakage current. So you know very well the minority current varies with respect to temperature. If this increases, obviously IC will increase. If this decreases, IC also will decrease. So stability of this current is very, very important. Why it is important? It should be there to avoid thermal runaway. What is thermal runaway? It is a self-destruction of the transistor, unstabilized transistor. Why that happens? It is due to the temperature. So all these are interconnected. So stability of collector current is very, very important, since if it is not stabilized, it will lead to thermal runaway. Then the next point, this is what I have said here. The process of making operating point independent of temperature variations in transistor parameters is known as stabilization. What is that operating point? This operating point is marked on the graph and it consists of two main parameters. One is ICQ and another is VCEQ. If this ICQ is independent, definitely collector current will be stabilized. This is what it means. So we'll see this in later stages in detail. So next, to ensure proper flow of zero signal, see, I'm using this word again, to ensure proper flow of zero signal collector current, that is ICQ. This is ICQ, and collector emitter voltage VCEQ. What is this notations states? Why is it called like this? We will see this in a later slides. So to ensure proper flow of zero signal collector current ICQ and collector emitter voltage VCEQ. So altogether there are 4 points. I have just changed this color to remember easily. Only the green color one, if you remember, you can easily expand the 4 points. Again, this is for your information. You need not have to write this as a note. So to get faithful amplification, to make Q point independent, to stabilize collector current, and to ensure proper flow of collector zero signal current. You can even say that. These are the 4 points for which there is a need for biasing. Next, DC load line. This is also one of the important factor, DC load line. I will show you that graph later, but here I'll simply explain what is DC load line, and here I'm going to explain what is Q point. Usually we take with CE mode, that is common emitter mode. In common emitter mode, output is VCE voltage and collector current is IC. So I have taken this along y-axis and this along x-axis. You all are aware, or you have seen my previous videos for transistor characteristics. Initially it will be increasing and then it becomes constant. So sorry, I'm using my mouse, so diagram may not be that much perfect. I drew one line here which is touching x-axis as well as y-axis. This is a straight line which is called as DC load line. Then how can I define this? As I said, it is a straight line. DC load line is a straight line. Where it is a straight line? Where it is a straight line? DC load line is a straight line in the output characteristics of a transistor. Under what condition? With only DC biasing. Means I can say under zero signal condition. So I can define this. 3 words I should remember. It is a straight line drawn on the output characteristics under zero signal condition. So zero signal condition means, that is what is I have written earlier as ICQ and VCEQ. So DC load line is a straight line drawn on the output characteristics of a transistor under zero signal condition with, what do I get if I do that? I will get this point and this point. You could notice this is the maximum position. So I can call it as IC saturation point. That is, maximum current will obtain in the saturation region it is. Again, this is called as VCE cut off. Why am I calling it as cut off? The reason is this region is nothing but cut off, and this is what is the voltage under that region. So if I draw a DC load line, I will get 2 points. One is saturation collector current and cut off collector emitter voltage. So I'll just show you here the diagram, which is cleanly explained. Same thing I have written here, but this is more clear. So I will take this here. This is IC saturation, this is VCE cutoff, and DC load line is a straight line drawn on the output characteristics under zero signal condition. You could notice this DC load line is intersecting these output characteristic curve at various positions. All these intersecting positions are known as Q points. All these intersecting positions are known as Q point. So how can I define this? Q point is an intersecting point between ICEQ and VCEQ, I can say, or even I can say Q point is the intersecting point of the output characteristics in a DC load line. So Q point, I can define it in two ways. First definition will be, it is the intersecting point of zero signal collector current, that is ICQ, and collector emitter voltage, that is VCEQ. If I take these two, wherever it intersects, that will be the Q point. Or else I can even define it as, it is the intersecting point of DC load line. This is the DC load line and the output characteristic curve, that is, this is the output characteristic curve. So what will be the significance of this DC load line then? This DC load line will give me n number of possible Q points. So significance of DC load line, it will provide me n number of possible Q points. Why do we need maximum number of Q points? That let us see later. So I hope it is very clear. I'll just revise once. DC load line is a straight line drawn on the output characteristics of a curve under zero signal, wherein Q point is the intersecting point of this DC load line and output characteristics. So with the same words, only change in one word, is a straight line or an intersecting point, I can define both DC load line and Q point use. Thank you so much.